Wipe Up, episode 238, the podcast where I share my unfiltered thoughts on the latest news and entertainment updates. I'm your host, Ray Taylor. Everything you need to know about the King's coronation. I don't know if it's my headphones or if it's my microphone. I'm hoping the audio's okay. There's like a little buzzing I'm hearing. But the coronation happened. I think the royal family is ridiculous. They're wasting a ton of money on some ridiculous ceremony where they don't even do anything. It's just like all they do is represent like white supremacy. They represent incest. They represent the needless invasion of countries, right? Destroying countries, stealing from countries, right? They don't represent anything good of society, and yet they are held up on this pedestal for traditional reasons. King Charles III, his coronation took place on May 6th, which is yesterday as I'm recording this, in Westminster Abbey, with over 2,000 guests invited. Members of the royal family attended, including Queen Consort Camilla, the entire Wales family, and the Duke of Sussex. But the Duchess of Sussex stayed at home in California with their children. Camilla was crowned Queen Consort alongside King Charles III. The coronation regalia, which included ceremonial swords, scepters, orbs, St. Edward's crown, were featured in the service. King Charles III commissioned 12 new pieces for the ceremony, with Andrew Lloyd Webber and Patrick Doyle among the composers. The coronation concert took place on May 7th in Windsor Castle, with performances from Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, Andrea Bocelli, and others. There is an additional bank holiday for King Charles III's coronation, and Britons are encouraged to celebrate with their street parties and community volunteering. The royal family had the power to censor the BBC coverage of the coronation, and negotiations over footage allegedly went on until just hours before the event started. This raised questions about the extent of the constitutional monarch's power. I mean, that seems like massive sense. This is like government-controlled TV, controlled specifically by this family of inbred fucks, right? The cost of living crisis was highlighted as the ornate display of the coronation made people uncomfortable. The use of gold, carriage, and other extravagant elements were seen disastrous given the current situation, right? Because that's what everybody wants to see when they're barely affording to pay their bills, is to see this ridiculous ceremony of wealth and power to a family that supposedly is in charge because God bestowed them with their bullshit. And, you know, just like rubbing your face and like, oh, look at all these rich people that do nothing, contribute nothing to society, literally contribute nothing to society, have gotten their wealth from stealing and overthrowing and invading other countries, like doing the worst things imaginable, being the most evil humans, and they're still celebrated. Anti-monarchy protesters dressed in bright yellow were arrested during the coronation, with more than a dozen people reportedly detained. Human rights organizations criticized the move and called it a totalitarian crackdown, which we saw, I think, when did that? There was another one that happened when I think they were announcing that after the Queen died, during her funeral, people just holding up blank pieces of paper were arrested. It's ridiculous. And they wasted 20.5 million pounds on this bullshit festival of bullshit. I don't know. I don't live there, so I'm sure there's many people from the UK that think that my opinion shouldn't even exist. But considering I understand how the world is going at this time, where people are tired of these multinational corporations and wealthy people that exist in this world, how they are profiting off of every human being's hard work, where we are not even able to survive. Like, it is mind-blowing to think that they would be surprised we'd be a little upset with this situation. And if anybody has a problem, like they don't think I should have an opinion because I don't live in the UK, you should just grow up, right, and mind your own business. If you don't like my opinions, you don't have to listen. It's very simple. It is very simple. Nobody's forcing you to watch this. Nobody's saying you have to agree with me, right? If you turn on the TV and something comes on the TV that you don't like, do you maintain watching that, or do you change the channel? Do you find something that you agree with and want to watch? Or do you write into the producers of every show that you don't like, telling them that they need to stop producing shows you don't like because the world should revolve around you, because you're a spoiled little adult child that thinks that the world should revolve around you and everybody should kind of bend to your will? I don't care. Grow up. I have opinions, and I don't have to live everywhere. I just happen to have opinions. And this isn't a news show. This is an opinion show. Crazy. Why don't you start your own show where you can have your opinions? And guess what? Don't be surprised when people show up to say that you shouldn't have your opinions. Anyway, ridiculous what's going on in the UK. It's amazing that this, even though they're just like these symbols, these figureheads, they literally don't do anything. The fact that they have any amount of power and that like the media is so obsessed with it is just ridiculous. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. Like, literally, that family represents white supremacy on a global level. It is what their mission has been throughout the history of that family, to invade other countries, thinking that they literally think that they are superior to everybody else. They think God bestowed them with, that's the reason they're kings, because God said they should be. So disgusting. So disgusting. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Swipe Up. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts and insights on the latest news and entertainment updates. If you feel so inclined, please join the conversation by leaving a comment or rating on your favorite podcast platform, or over on youtube.com/inspired disorder. I'll see you next Thursday for more unfiltered opinions and fresh perspectives. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.